She pulled up to my house at exactly 7 p.m. I stepped out the front door, dressed and ready, trying to hold back a smile. For a moment, it felt like the world had taken a sharp turn in my favor. She was the girl I used to crush on hard back in high school. The kind of crush that sinks deep, that sticks to your ribs long after it's gone stale. The kind of crush that makes your heart race even when she's just a name on your phone screen. And suddenly, she was there again, out of nowhere. For months, even years, she barely acknowledged my existence. At one point, she had me blocked on everything: Instagram, Snapchat, even my number. We hadn't spoken in forever. And then, out of the blue, a text popped up on Thursday. "Hey, how have you been?" A few polite exchanges, a couple of light laughs. Then the ask, "I'm having some people over. Do you think you could grab the beer?" Where I live, the drinking age is 19. I'm 19. She and her friends are all 18, a technicality that suddenly made me useful. And when I said, "Yeah, that sounds fun. I'd love to hang," she responded with, "Thanks. I'll pick you up at 7. It sounded casual. It sounded friendly. It sounded like an invitation. So I shaved. I put on cologne. I combed my hair twice. And when I saw her headlights outside, something inside me, some long-dead teenage hope, came back to life. She drove in near silence. We pulled up to the liquor store, and she told me to get Budweiser. Bud. I swallowed the disappointment. It wasn't about the beer. It was about the night. I grabbed 2 24-packs, paid for them with my own money, and came back to the car like a soldier reporting for duty. "Let's party," I said, trying to mask the nerves in my chest. But she was quiet. Too quiet. And when I noticed she wasn't heading downtown or toward her neighborhood, but looping back toward mine, that old teenage hope started to turn cold. We pulled up in front of my house. She put the car in park. Then she turned, leaned in, and kissed me on the cheek. "Thanks," she said, all sweetness and syrup. And that's when it hit me. I wasn't going to that party. I was never supposed to. She had used just enough friendliness, just enough ambiguity to keep me hopeful. Just enough to get what she wanted. "When were you going to tell me I wasn't invited?" I asked. She blinked like it was news to her. "I never said you were." And just like that, the trap closed. I sat there stunned. 1 minute. 2. Then wordlessly, I picked up the beer from the back seat, opened my front door, stepped inside. She jumped out of the car, followed me halfway to the porch. Wait, you can come?" I didn't mean it like that. But it was too late. The spell was broken. She wasn't being generous. She wasn't being spontaneous. She wasn't being kind. She was being calculating. And I was humiliated. I didn't yell. I didn't insult her. I didn't make a scene. I just took back what I paid for, closed the door, and let the silence speak for me. That silence? It roared. Back in my room, I stared at 2 cases of Budweiser. I didn't even like beer. But I cracked one open anyway. It tasted like piss and shame. My phone lit up. Her friends. Strangers whose names I barely recognized. "Why would you do that?" "You're being a dick. Grow up." They weren't asking what happened. They were just defending her. Maybe she told them some other version. Maybe they just saw a free beer source disappear and called it betrayal. I sat there, numb, letting the cold can sweat in my hand. My phone kept buzzing, but I didn't answer. I couldn't, because something deeper had been ripped open that night. It wasn't just about the beer. It was about how easy it is for some people to see you as a utility. How effortlessly someone can weaponize friendliness when they know you're still holding on to a feeling they've long since thrown away. She knew I liked her. Maybe that's why she unblocked me. Maybe that's why she smiled when she said, "Thanks," like it was all one big favor. And maybe that's why, when I took the beer and left, she finally looked surprised, because I wasn't supposed to say no. I was supposed to be grateful. I was supposed to be the good guy, the pushover, the one who hoped for crumbs and called it dinner. But I'm not that guy anymore. That night didn't feel like a win. It felt like being slapped in front of a crowd and then walking off the stage alone. But deep down, beneath the shame and the sting, I knew I'd done the right thing. Not because I wanted to get even, not because I wanted revenge, but because I needed to remind myself I have value, I have boundaries, and I won't be used. So, am I the asshole? Or was I just the first person to finally say no? There's a moment in everyone's life when the lines between kindness and self-sacrifice start to blur. When you realize that not everyone asking for help is doing so out of friendship. Sometimes, they're playing a game they've already rigged. This story, it isn't just about beer, or parties, or teenage heartbreak. It's about dignity. It's about drawing the line between being generous and being exploited. The narrator didn't scream, didn't post revenge online, didn't even call her names. He just took back what was his, closed the door, and let the silence do the talking. And that takes strength. Because sometimes, walking away is louder than any argument. To anyone listening who's been used, dismissed, or manipulated, you are not a vending machine for other people's convenience. Your kindness isn't a weakness. It's a gift. And it should never come with strings attached, unless you choose to tie them. So what would you have done? Would you have left the beer and walked away? Or would you have taken back your power, one can at a time? Comment below. Let the vault hear your story. And remember, we don't just store confessions here, we store courage. This is AITA Story Vault.